and I'm a coach. I coach people for a living on losing weight, gaining muscle, and all that. And today's topic that I'm going to discuss is, do SARMS require a PCT? And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I get messages every single day, more than one, on this exact question. So why not make a video to answer this? Before I get into that, I just want to say I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling you what to do or suggesting what to do. I'm just giving you information on what I've done or what I've seen. And so everything is just for entertainment or for your own information. So please go tell your doctor what you're doing. Find out from your doctor and avoid taking steroids and anything illegal in the first place. Do not break the law of your country. All right. So, what is a PCT? Well, we have to answer that first. So PCT is post-cycle therapy. That's something that people do after they go on a cycle of steroids in general in order to bring back their natural production of testosterone, because when you take steroids, your body doesn't need to make testosterone anymore because it's getting it exogenously from another source. So your body is like, it goes on vacation. Your testicles will shrink, and it's like, we can relax. Let's just sit back. We don't need to make tests. Dude's injecting it every day. We'll just sit back here. Problem is, then you stop, say it's 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 20 weeks, 6 years, whatever later, and then it's like, oh my God, is it Monday? I have to go back to work? I don't want to make testosterone. And then so you lose all your gains, you feel like shit, you have low sex drive, you might have impotence, erectile dysfunction, mood problems, depression, the list goes on. The steroid side effects are horrible after you come off. So, you have to take that in consideration. A lot of people don't know that before they get into it, and they'll just start taking steroids and then they just stop. They think, oh, I put on 20 pounds, now I'll just stop. And then they didn't think that they'd lose all that. And then, life goes to hell. It sucks. So don't take steroids in the first place. What will I do next here? Let's see. Okay. Oh, so to answer the question, the real answer, which I've been typing everybody, is it depends on blood work. So there's no yes for sure answer to this question, yes or no. I'm just only able to give you some guidelines because it depends. It depends on your blood work. If you take a cycle of SARMS and you go to the doctor and you get your blood work done and your test production is normal, then you don't need a PCT because you're normal. What would be the point of trying to stimulate your body to produce test when it already is? It makes no sense. It would be like eating when you just ate and you're not hungry. So that's the whole point of this, okay? So I kind of broke it down and I wanted to discuss the most common ones. So the most common SARMs that I know of would be Ostarine, S4, Rad 140, and LGD 4033. I mean, I can't talk about every single thing. The videos would just go too long. So in that order, I ranked them from the least likely to suppress your body to the most. So Ostarine would be the least likely to need a PCT, followed by S4, followed by Rad 140, followed by LGD 4033. Okay, so that helps you start right away. So if you're taking Ostarine, less likely that you need a PCT than if you're taking LGD. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Next, how suppressed you become depends on many factors, and if you need a PCT, it depends on some factors. For example, age. Okay, 43 here, not 23. If you're older, your body has a hard time getting back to normal after it has done a steroid cycle. It's just you're older. You don't recover as well. Things aren't as good as when you're young. So the older you are, the more likely you need a PCT. Next, the stronger the cycle is, the more likely you need a PCT. So Ostarine, a typical male dose, 25 milligrams. Typical female dose, 10 milligrams. If you're taking a typical dose, like 10 for girls and 25 for guys, the chances are more likely that you're going to need a PCT than if you're only taking half that dose. Okay? So just think about it. If you're taking 5 milligrams of Ostarine and I'm taking 50, I have way more chance that I'm going to have problems than the person only taking 5. So dose dependent. So if you push the higher limits, then you expect to be needing a PCT. Also, next, the cycle length. So Ostarine, if you use it for a year straight, chances are you're going to need a PCT. If you use it for 4 days, you don't need a PCT. It depends on how long you take it. The longer you take it, the more likely, okay? So you don't know for sure unless you get blood work, but a lot of you are not getting blood work because you're morons and idiots and you just are scared to tell your doctor, "Ooh, I'm scared people will find out what I'm taking." That happens all the time. Too bad. Suck it up. If you don't know, then shut up. Stop. Don't take it in the first place. If you want to start risking your health and you're not man enough or woman enough to figure out if you're healthy or not, that's on you. That's your risk, okay? So if you're taking this stuff, you should do your own research and you should find out and you should have a doctor that can examine your health and make sure you're not doing damage, because you might be. And then you'll regret it when you're 60 years old and you could have lived to be 80, okay? Next, if you stack them together. So if I take Ostarine and S4 and RAD 140 and LGD, then the chances are yes, absolutely you're going to need a PCT. If not, you're going to experience all those bad side effects. So you don't need to do anything. You can take 10 times the dose of everything and not do a PCT, but your life will suck after. So it's just, if you want to be healthy or not. All right. I also get questions which make no sense, but they're only because people don't understand. You don't need to take a PCT if you're taking GW501516 or MK677. They are not SARMS. The video is, do SARMS require a PCT? They're not SARMS, but I should mention anyway because I'd say 1 out of every 5 people thinks that MK is a SARM and GW is a SARM. They don't understand it doesn't suppress testosterone. GW is a fat burner. MK is a growth hormone secretagogue. Nothing to do with your LH, luteinizing hormone, FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. It's not going to suppress those. It's not going to make your testosterone levels go down. It would be like saying, "Oh, I took pre-workout. Do I need PCT?" No. Why would you need a PCT? Pre-workout? I drink coffee every morning. Do I need a PCT? No, it's the same thing, okay? So don't stress about those different things. They're not even SARMs. The next question everyone wants to know is, what's the PCT have to do? Well, I'm not going to do this whole thing in this video because it would go too long. So I'm just going to briefly touch on it. So, for example, when you do a PCT, you could take something like Clomid or Nova. I'm not going to list every single supplement in the world that you could take. Clomid and Nova would be 2 examples. Nova is stronger than Clomid. Clomid has some negative side effects, such as more problems with mood, and some people have visual, I'll call them disturbances. So I would personally, me, not you, take Nova over Clomid, okay? That's just me. I think it's better. Me, not you, okay? So what's important to know is you can't take a PCT while you're taking something. It does nothing. If your body is suppressed, it's suppressed. If it's getting it somewhere else, the testosterone or the androgens, the hormones that are making you bigger from the outside source and you're taking them in, you can't take a PCT and think that it's going to just stop you from having problems. Your body has to get rid of that stuff before it can start making its own testosterone again. So you have to stop taking Ostarine, RAD 140, whatever SARM you're taking, wait a few days for it to get out of your system, and then start the PCT. SARMs have very short half-lives. They're not like weeks or months or any of that stuff, like testosterone. So the PCT can start just a few days after, okay? With test and EQ and those things, the esters last a long time, so you have to really wait a few weeks after. A lot of people I know, I did my last shot on Monday, started my PCT Tuesday, in 2 weeks I'm done my PCT. I'm like, your body didn't even start to realize it was on a PCT. The shot you just did Monday is still in your body 2 weeks later. For sure, it's still growing 2 weeks after your last shot. So the PCT is useless. At least with SARMs, PCT a couple days after. SARMs are less suppressive than most steroids. So You don't need to do a wild, extravagant PCT. I really don't think you need to start getting into HCG and combining that with Clomid and Nova and Arimidex and Aromacin and like the list goes on, and like I'm gonna take 50 different things and peptides and get my body. It's not a crazy suppressive a thing. If it was, what would be the point of taking a SARM if it was worse than a steroid? It would be pointless. You would just better off taking the steroids in the first place, which arguably it could be better to take the steroids in the first place anyway. Okay. HCG is going to make your balls get bigger, but personally, I don't give a shit if my balls are not big. They were never big in the first place. I never had big balls as a kid, and I don't have big balls now. They're definitely smaller than when I was natural. I would say half as big. I don't care. It matters zero to me. I could have a 0 balls. They could be the size of a grain of salt and I would care nothing. I don't know anyone that really cares about it that much. So all these people that are like, my balls in the 8, who cares? It's like going bald. If you don't want it, don't do it. If you're worried about your balls shrinking balls as being a deterrent for using steroids is the stupidest deterrent in the world. No one cares if their balls get smaller and it's going to ruin your life. Deterrents are the negative stuff like cardiovascular disease, liver problems, kidneys, dying of a heart attack, high blood pressure. That's the stuff to worry about, not my balls got smaller. So who cares? HCG you're going to have to inject anyway, and chances are if you're using SARMs, you're scared of a needle, and you don't want to use steroids because you don't want to use needles, and you're looking for like just a pill because it's easy, and your girlfriend won't get mad at you because it's a SARM. It's not really a steroid. I'm not really cheating. I'm still natural. It's not bad because SARMs don't have that negative stigma that steroids do, even though they're the same really. So bottom line, you don't need to do HCG, but do what your doctor says. Okay, don't listen to me. When you stop taking testosterone or SARMs and you don't do a PCT, you might experience erectile dysfunction. In that case, and I hear it a lot, I get a lot of messages from guys saying that they can't have sex and they can't get a hard on or it won't stay hard or whatever, you know. It's not really the most pleasant topic to talk about, but I get it a lot. They don't tell their doctors, they tell me. Seems retarded, but they do. You would probably want to take Cialis or Viagra at that point, or Viagra, whatever you want to pronounce it, and that will help for sure. I personally don't need these things. In the past, I have needed Cialis or Viagra. I remember when I was off cycle completely for like 5 months, and my test levels were like, I don't know, the same as a 100-year-old. Like, they were blown away nothing. And in case this is the first video watch me, I have been on HRT for a while, and I was put on this by an endocrinologist, which was recommended by my doctor. And the reason is because I did a PCT and I didn't bounce back. So you do your PCT and then you go get blood work and your test levels are still there. Then I did PCT again and my test levels were still crap again. Then they were like, oh, we better put them on something because it's going to take them like a year to get back to any kind of normal range. And having low testosterone is problematic. You don't want to get osteoporosis and other problems with your heart. There's so many, I'm not going to list them. But you need tests. If you're low in test, you need test. If you're low T, your doctor should be prescribing you testosterone because it's a needed thing. Same as when women are going through menopause and they might be prescribed female hormones. It's the same type of thing. You need to be fixed, okay? Yeah, so bottom line, there's no set clear-cut answer if you need a PCT or not. You need to get blood work. It would be like saying, how many calories should I eat? I'm dieting. I can't say 3,000 or 2,000. I need 3,000. You might need 2,000. Somebody else might need 4,000. Somebody else might need 900. There's no answer. Do you need a PCT? The answer is maybe, okay? So don't write me, do I need a PCT? I'm doing this many milligrams. Maybe you do. Blood work will tell you. If your testosterone levels are low, you need some kind of a PCT to stimulate your body to get back to normal. Now, if you don't do a PCT, it doesn't mean you're screwed for life. It just means it's going to take an extended period of time to get back to normal, Okay, so for a few months there, you have to hang tight and accept the fact that your arms are shrinking every week, your sex drive is low, you might not get an erection, and your mood is down, and this can be months. I mean, it could be 6 months, it could be a year before you feel normal again. PCT can lower that time. It's not going to work just like that. Don't think you can just take 3-month cycle of SARMS or steroids, take your PCT and boom, I did 2 weeks of Nova and I should be normal now. No, it doesn't go like that. Say your normal testosterone for you was 20 and you did your SARMS and now you're at 2. You do your PCT and it brings you up to 7. 7 is not bad compared to 2, but it ain't 20. And so it's going to take you months to get back to 20. Maybe you never get to 20. Maybe you only get to 15. Then you go back on a cycle and they keep going up and down and you keep doing PCTs over and over again. But that's the typical lifestyle. Once you start steroids or SARMs, hard to stop because you're going to want those gains. You can't just take a cycle, gain 10 pounds of muscle, stop, keep 9 of those pounds and be like, oh, there, I'm good to go now. Nope. Once you stop, you're going to lose your gains and it's going to be over. And if you say I'm natural, you're not natural. If you've done SARMs, it's going to take you a year to say you're natural again because I don't care what you say. 6 months after a cycle's over, you still have a lot of the muscle. It hasn't completely disappeared yet, so you're not natural yet. So just because you went off gear or SARMs 3 months ago, you're not natural. You need to stay off for a long time to get back to normal. And that back to normal is when your body is producing tests at a normal level again. Then you've successfully overcome a cycle and you can now say, yeah, you're back to normal and you're back and natural and your body's producing, its own testosterone again. Anyway, hope that helps and look forward to new videos in the future.